Hey friends, we're back with another update on my dream PC build. We've actually made quite a bit of progress since that update that I did a week ago. And I heard everybody's complaints last week about not putting any building in that video. I just thought building my dream PC I'm building it, and I realized that, yeah, the text probably indicates that I was gonna do it. So we're gonna show you some building after I tell you about today's video sponsor, Honey. Well, friends, today's video is sponsored by Honey. And you might be wondering what Honey is. It's the free online shopping tool that helps you save money on whatever website you're trying to buy things on. You see, I've built this up over the last 6 months by waiting for sales on several different components. The RAM, found it on a good sale thanks to Honey on Newegg. This graphics card, same deal. Used Honey on Dell.com to make sure that I had the best pricing of the graphics card that I possibly could. And Honey is so easy to install. It just takes 2 clicks to get it done. And you can be part of UFT Tech subscribers who have already saved $25,000 using Honey. That is a lot of money. They support over 30,000 stars. It has over 100,000 5-star reviews. They have 17 million members with over $2 billion in savings. So I thank you for using Honey. Go to joinhoney.com/UFT Tech. Install it in just 2 clicks. Start saving money on the internet. Again, that's joinhoney.com/UFT Tech. Save on your next PC build just like I did by using Honey. So we actually did a lot of this build over on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/UFDisciple. We built this on Monday after that video aired. So we can show you a few clips here. But suffice to say, if you want to get the experience building it with us live, go follow us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/UFDisciple. It'd be much appreciated. Anyways, what we did over there was the main construction. I put the 3950X into the X570 Aqua. I water cooled the RX 5700 XT 50th anniversary edition, signature one. I put everything together, and on a subsequent stream, I even knocked over the board. Okay, so motherboard goes here, obviously. That's a thing. And then we have the custom. It's totally okay, everything's fine, nothing's broken. Would happen. Everything's okay, baby! Yes, $2,000 worth of equipment in here, and it was knocked over. But since even those streams, I've made quite a bit of progress, and we've got some deliveries that I kind of want to go through so that I can show you more the full concept of what's going to happen. And we should hopefully, within a week's time, be able to complete this. I'm still waiting on a few Amazon orders to get it done, but I can walk you through the concept right now. A few things aren't perfect, but they're definitely along the ways of where I want to take it. So if you take a look, I've obviously done some test bends, as you can see right here. Some of them aren't quite level with where I want, but I'll explain my rationale up front. So first up, as you can see, I've decided to go with the radiators on the outside of the case, which I think looks really good. If you mount it just a little bit higher than you're typically supposed to, I can get the inlets and outlets of the radiators coming out so that I can bring the tubes over top. And thankfully, that lines up with where the GPU inlets and outlets are as well, so I can get a pretty straight run. Currently, the runs aren't straight just because I haven't done the proper sizing of the tubes as of yet, but I can create this nice little symmetrical setup with the tubing to make it so that it goes up and out. I'll explain the rest of the tubing after I talk about our decision to mount the pump, because it does seem like Ulebeast with their Atlas case don't really have a placement for the pump, but I thought of the perfect placement, and I can get rid of the part that I like the least about this case, which is the power button. The reason I don't like the power button is because it has an ugly red cord on it, and it makes it very difficult for me to color match everything when there's just a red cord popping up down here at the bottom of the build, which I could fix, but I'd rather just get rid of it, especially since the Aqua does have its own power button down here, so I can plug it in there. So we're deciding, in order to keep everything symmetrical, or as symmetrical as we possibly can, because obviously the tubing runs aren't going to be fully symmetrical because the motherboard itself is off center, we're going to put the pump back here. We're going to mount it back here with zip ties, which is a little less than preferred. However, it should keep everything pretty stable and then gives us a center, or I'll make sure it's center when I actually mount it, a center mounted pump and radiator combo that makes it look more symmetrical. We're gonna have the pump outlet right here go all the way over to the inlet of the motherboard, which is over here. But the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna come out, go up, go over, come back, and then bend it back here. And you can see from that, the outlet of the motherboard, it goes over here, makes a 90-degree vertical, comes into the radiator over here. This radiator then goes down, out, over into the GPU, which somebody said to make sure that the left side of this was the inlet, but I checked with EK and it doesn't matter. They can both be inlets and outlets as far as their official manual. So then that goes out over here, all the way up to this radiator. Then this radiator goes out over, as you can see, which this isn't completely done as perfectly as I want. And then that's gonna come over here and then bend back in to the inlet on the pump right there. And then we have a complete single loop system. I know that the runs aren't completely symmetrical at the moment, but I'm gonna make sure that they're symmetrical by the end of it. I was just waiting on all of the parts that we need. I need a couple more 90-degree fittings. I need, I think, another extension as well, and I'm waiting for all of that to come in. So we're gonna mount the pump with the zip ties, which just came in because I didn't have any black zip ties that I could use. Also, the extender did come in. I do have that, so we can put that into the build once we have that. But we've made a few key decisions on top of this as well that I think are gonna help to make this thing even better. Number one, I decided on the fluid, which is, I went with Primo Chill's View Sterling Silver, which just looks phenomenal, especially when it's moving. The actual texture in the fluid is brilliant. I love this so much. Catlin wants to drink it, which I think is a little weird, but you know, to each their own, I guess. Please don't drink it though, okay?
I make no promise.
She makes no promises, yikes. I think this looks beautiful. It's gonna be a little dark, but I prefer to have a darker kind of gray theme going on here than some of the other colors. The other one that I was trying to decide between was the Primo Chill View white version, which it was brighter with a little bit of the dark tint because of the texture in there, but I decided to go with the darker overall, especially since it's black and silver. I think the darker color really complements the aesthetic overall. And then I also, Amazon delivered my heat gun, so I can finally bend tubing, which is great because before I couldn't. We needed that. I also purchased additional tubing because I'm pretty sure I'm going to screw a few things up. And then I also bought some cable wrapper so that I can make sure that all of the cable management here at the back is taken care of and done properly, and make sure that all of the cables are okay. And you can see we have everything as color coordinated as possible, so I didn't want that red power button kind of sticking out there. I think the only other things that I'm really waiting on are, again, that 90-degree fitting, as well as some fan extensions, which, let's talk about the fans, but I need the fan extensions so that I can make sure every single one of the fans can reach the EK hub that came free with all of my EK orders back at Black Friday. So this is the EK Loop Connect 51. It allows me to connect all of the fans to one section, and then all of the RGB lighting of the fans to one section as well. I'm gonna mount that on the side of the power supply like so, but I have to make sure that the fans that are on the opposite side right here can come all the way around, so I need some fan extensions in order to make that possible. So we have a few things. It's like the small things that make it so that I cannot complete this build right now. But I was so excited when I found the fans for this build, which I was looking for a while. I wanted to make sure that it color matched. First of all, I also wanted some RGB, which is kind of difficult, so it had to go black with RGB. There's not a whole lot that's out there, so I could have gone with the black fan with the Fantex halo rings on top of that. But I found the perfect fan, and thankfully, Amazon had them in stock, because there actually is a lot of stock issues with these. I can't find them on Newegg. They're out of stock in several colors, but I finally decided on the Lee Bora fans in space gray, mostly because that was the only color that came in a 3-pack that was in stock, but it also matches the color quite well. So the Lee Bora digital RGB fans, so they have RGB as well as being aluminum on the outside, and space gray so that they match the color scheme. So we have black and silver is the general idea of everything that we have going on here, and just having 6 of the Bora fans on the outside, which will have that air blowing in, but since it's open air anyways, I don't think it really matters too much. So it's gonna be pushing towards into the PC, but since it's open air, again, we're not dealing with any sort of confined setup. But I think that these are some of the most beautiful fans that I have seen. I don't particularly care about their performance. I wasn't looking for the best static pressure, the best airflow. I was actually prioritizing beauty first when it came to the fans, especially since this is an open air chassis. Cooling isn't such a big concern, but we're there. We're nearly there. We have the concept done. I have the concept of the tubing done. I need to extend this one out just a little bit because, as you can see, it's not as quite where it needs to be for that section. And then I just need to even up these GPU inlets and outlets as well to make sure that they're flush. And then I should be mostly good to go. I also need to fix this motherboard pin here, so I'm just gonna have to take the motherboard off to begin with. But I tested the motherboard after I dropped it. Everything's fine. It was just a stupid little mistake by me. But we have everything ready to go. We're almost done with my dream build. I'm excited for it. I also, I talked to Sabrent, the makers of the NVMe SSDs that I've used in several builds in the past. They're gonna be sending us a 2 terabyte PCI Express 4.0 drive, so to make sure that the drive is not the slowest thing in the system, because on the live stream, I found the only M.2 drive I had just to check and see if it would boot up, and that is a 950 Pro, which is 4 years old at this point. It's quite an old M.2 NVMe drive. It might die any day now because I used to use that as my daily driver and rewrote it quite a few times. So Sabrent hooking us up with some great capacity and great speed NVMe drives, and I can't wait to get that. So that should round out the final component of the build, which was the hard drive. I don't think there's anything else. I'm really excited. This is the Yule Beast Atlas case. For those of you who don't remember, it has this vertical mode, which I'm going to choose to mount everything in, but the beauty is you could also lay it flat like this, or as I discovered earlier in this week, and by discovered, I just mean I thought of it, which is you can go into spider mode, as I like to call it, and you can even mount it kind of like this, and then you have like the spider legs sticking up. I like to call this spider mode. Obviously, you have the issues of the cable being kind of weird there, but I mean, you can make this fit 3 different ways, and you could, oh, that's a, okay, well, without me breaking anything else, let's go ahead and thank today's video sponsor again. Don't forget to check out Honey. Join honey.com/UFD Tech. Get it set up, 2 clicks. You have the browser extension tool that makes it so that you can save money wherever you're trying to buy things. You can have maybe not this build, but you could have a build that's much cheaper. And I just noticed that this screw is loose, and so the GPU's hanging, and that might have to do with some of the slack issues that we're having. I don't like this. I'm gonna fix that, and I'm gonna cut this ad spot. Bye. That's gonna wrap it up. Let me know if you have any questions about the build. I'm gonna try to live stream as much as I possibly can of completing the rest of this process of building this. So again, follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/UFDisciple. Everybody who's been showing up to our streams has been fantastic. I can't wait to see you there. Again, I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. We'd have to drive 2 hours to get to the nearest IKEA.
That's a yikes. Just for some meatballs?
For IKEA meatballs, yeah, Swedish meatballs. Put a meatball on the motherboard. Ah yes, supreme cooling. I have achieved efficiency. Yep, if we put the motherboard there, the power button's perfectly fine. Okay, that's the power button. Ah, the meatball rolled off. You can see it left a print. That's the meatball print, friend.
Probably.
I think you're missing out. You know what I just realized?
What?
I don't know where my thermal paste is.
Glory.
To the motherboard. Let's get that fully set up. So let's get back to this guy, Mr. Meatball. I've already wiped it off, okay? For anybody who wasn't here earlier, I put a meatball in the 3950X. But I wiped it off. We got that going on. So there's the 3950X as the overhead cam wobble doubles all over the place. Let's go ahead and, how did that happen? I did it on purpose. That's how it happened. Let's go ahead and put the thermal paste on. Oh yeah. Separate. Ah! It's all good. Nothing's broken, I think. All right, that'll make it easier because now I'm just holding the actual block, which is, look at how chunky this guy is. Reece, I could totally murder you with this.
Let's see.
It's like a hatchet, man.
Oh, snap, yeah.
Kill.
That's a big one.
Maim.
Is it heavy?
Destroy. Yeah, here.
Oh, wow.
Right? It's a hefty boy.
You could smack someone with that.
I could smack you. Come over here. You want to backstab me again, boy?
Carol basket.
Done. Finally. All right, there's the card. There's the heat sink. All done. I'm going to screw the blower fan screws back in for right now. Like, obviously, I can put the radiator here, right? So it's facing in. And then I could do the other one over here where it's still facing top. Or I could do, let's say this one's at the bottom here, and then this one's at the top over here. Or to make things even harder, I can mount it on the outside and have the fans blowing that way into it, right? But then, like, the tubing, I'd have to go, like, up and over, and then I'd have to go up and over back. That would be crazy. There. GPU bracket installed, everything installed. We're ready. We're ready, folks. Probably do the power supply first, to be quite honest. Yeah, we'll do the power supply first. So we got PC as set up as it's gonna be right now. Let's go ahead and get it monitor set up here after I put away some of the screws to see if it turns on. Putting stuff away so I can turn on my computer. Putting stuff away so I can play video games later today. Gonna play some more Final Fantasy, baby. Oh, you and me playing Final Fantasy, 'cause you're my Final Fantasy. Oh, we got lights. Got lights. Reece, you want to come press the button?
No.
Yes, Reece.
No.
Chat wants you to do it.
I know how this works.
Chat wants you to press the button.
Where's
the RGB is on, so the button's right here at the front.
All
All right. Are we ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fan started spinning.
Okay, the fan on the power supply is spinning. Oh, hey! Hey!
Oh, what's that?
Oh, my drive apparently had Windows on it. Hey! Hey, it already booted in the Windows. What do you know? I'm getting a mouse. That's gonna be the end of the stream. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Really appreciate having y'all. It was a fun stream. We got the PC built, my dream PC. We're almost there. Almost got it going. Thank you everybody who tuned in. We will see you tomorrow for Hot News Live. I need to sit down because my legs are killing me. I've been standing basically all day at this point. And yeah. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Catlin, can you turn off the stream?
Bye.
Bye. Well, can you do the outro? Or I'll do the piggy. Bye.